welcome back to the Demon Slayer Gaming channel. We're going to be continuing our Final Fantasy XIV Dungeon Guide series today. Today we're going to be taking a look at the second main scenario quest, the Praetorium. So as a tank in the first couple of areas, expect to probably die as the rest of the group kind of abandons you and just lets you try and make your way through. So you go ahead and just pull the first area, and then the objective is just to click on the Magitek terminal, which everyone is going to rush, and anytime you get hit, it knocks you out of the screen to actually click on it. So you have to kind of find your slot in between getting hit that it won't do that. So you need to time it between when you get hit and when you click on it. The third area is another area like the first, where you're just going to be running through to activate the terminal again. And again, you'll end up picking up all the units and getting abandoned and left behind, most likely. So you'll pick up these last couple units, kill them off. It'll give you another key to open up the, to use the Magitek terminal, and then that'll open up the door for the first boss. Now, the Magitek Colossus does function like most Iron Giant units. So face him away from the party, as he does have several frontal cleave abilities, and then he will randomly target units for a large circle AoE or sometimes a large line AoE. You just need to be knowledgeable of those and dodge them. He does do a frontal knockback on you that everyone else can avoid. Once the boss is dead, you'll go over to the terminal, wait for everyone to get onto the platform, and then ride the platform down. In the next section, you'll just pick up the units and continue running. These first ones will end up resetting, so you don't need to worry about them very much. Just make sure they hit you for a little bit instead of your allies. Once you get to the Colossus, then you'll have to pick up him and all the units in the next room. You'll just AoE these units down, and then the last one will drop a key to access the terminal again. Once you activate the terminal, you'll want to go into the room and to the right and activate the identification key reader. You have to activate this reader to be able to activate the mechs in the next area, so make sure that you do this. Once everyone's on the platform, you'll activate the terminal, and then once you're at the top, you'll go over and click on the Magitek armor. Once in the armor, you'll proceed through the next area. It does change your action bars so that your number 1 and your number 2 are now different abilities. Your number 1 is a Magitek cannon, and your number 2 is just a machine gun that hits units in front of you. So number 1 is what you're going to use most often. Just pepper the units as you run through. You should be able to kill them in 2 to 3 shots, and since everyone has in a cannon, you should be able to do this pretty easily. Then you'll go to the bulkhead, destroy it, and proceed down. When you get to the Magitek Research area, you'll proceed on until an arm busts out of the wall. Then you'll stand back and use your cannon to destroy the arm to let you pass. Kill the next group of enemies, and then repeat with the arm again. The last one will have 2 arms that come out back to back. Once both of those are dead, then you'll go to the last blast door, which will destroy, giving you access to the next boss. For Narrow, you can start off the fight with a fully charged ranged limit break. This will allow you to hit him for a good amount of damage before the fight starts. A lot of people will get agitated if you don't allow this to happen, but it really doesn't matter. It doesn't speed up the fight that much. The objective is to fight him in the center of the room and avoid the AoEs that are on the outside that he continually pushes you towards. Again, this is another mechanic that has been extremely minimized through the years, and doesn't really matter. You can pull him and fight him in the AoE right next to the door, and you may see some people do that. Once an arrow has been defeated, you'll proceed through the door and click on the Magitek terminal. This will start your first encounter with Gaius. He does have frontal cone, so you can face him away from the party. This first phase is pretty normal. There's nothing that's really going to happen that you need to worry about, and he should go down relatively quickly. The large AoE does a constant bleed on you. You can pull him out of it, but it's not really necessary. After this, you'll go through the entryway, and this will start the first fight with the ultimate weapon. Starting the fight, he will be almost invulnerable to all damage, so there's no point in burning any cooldowns, using any abilities. Just continue to activate your range throw ability that has increased enmity. So as soon as his damage decreasing buffs go away, you can hit him and gain aggro as soon as possible. Try to keep him facing away from the party, as he does do a triple line AoE that can hit everyone in front of him. Does do a circular untelevised AoE that just need to be healed through. Throughout the fight, he will activate different Titan abilities. The first one would be Vulcan Burst, which will knock you back. After Garuda, his essence has been torn out of ultimate weapon. Then he will no longer perform this ability. Depending on how quickly your team defeats the boss, you will have to deal with the fire plumes and earth crash plumes, depending if Titan and Ifrit's essences are still in the ultimate weapon. The fire plumes will be in the outside of the arena, and you'll just move into the middle, and then the earth AoEs will be in the middle of the arena, and you just move to the outside. Once all the essences have been removed from ultimate weapon, then the second phase will start. For the second phase, the abilities that ultimate weapon was using towards the end of the fight, with just the circular AoE and the line AoEs in front, will continue, and then he will spawn Magitek bits around the outside of the room that can be killed by your ranged DPS, and would hopefully will be, but a lot of times they just get ignored, so you'll just need to dodge the line AoEs. Throughout the fight also, there will be carriers that are dropping onto the arena that do proximity damage to how close you are to them, so you can move around the arena to get further away from each of these carriers. A lot of this mechanics are just going to be healed through and not really worried about. You could stand here and take every single one of these line AoEs and it not really do that much damage to you. So which mechanics you want to actually do and which ones you want to ignore, completely up to you, but most people are just going to ignore all of them. When he gets down to his last little percent of HP, he teleports to the middle of the room and starts casting Ultima. If he is not dead before this cast finishes, then he will just kill the entire team, but it is guaranteed that you're going to kill him before this finishes. After defeating Ultimate Weapon, you will have a final fight with La Habria. Again, this is another fight that has been very trivialized. He has a very small amount of HP, and you will just sit here and pretty much steamroll over him, ignoring pretty much every mechanic in the fight. He does do a tank buster, which does a knockback, and he does do an AoE on the ground, and all of them will get ignored. But this should be it for the Praetorium, the final main scenario quest. I hope it helps a few of you out. If it did, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you on the next one.